Okay, so here are the steps to finding a side using trig ratios. So basically, if you're given a right triangle, and that right triangle tells you an angle, so like, I don't know, we'll call this 20 degrees, and it wants you to find a side, like this side, and then it tells you, this side here is 35. So basically, you get a side, you get an angle, and you're looking for a side. That's when you're going to use this. So, step one, you're going to label the sides of your triangle: opposite, adjacent, and hypotenuse. Opposite is always opposite the angle you're looking for. The adjacent is next to the angle you're looking for, and the hypotenuse is across from the right angle and the longest side. So, label the side you're finding with an X. Got it. Okay, cool. Done. Figure out what ratio you're using. So in order to do that, consult SOHCAHTOA. Figure out which side you're looking for and which side they give you. And then that way, you can figure out which one of these based on what you have. So like in this one, we're given the opposite, we're looking for the adjacent. So we want the one that uses opposite and adjacent. Boom, opposite, adjacent. Notice how this doesn't have opposite and this doesn't have adjacent? That's why we want to use tangent to find this one. Then you set up your equation. So it would be tangent of 20 equals 35 over x. And then finally, solve it. Put your trig ratio over 1, cross multiply. And then be careful of whether or not you have to multiply or divide in the end to finally solve for x. So with these, let's look at a couple examples. And, a good thing here is when do you multiply by the trig ratio? When do you divide by the trig ratio? Good thing to look out for. So, first one, we're looking from this 22-degree angle. So, across from the right angle, 34 is your hypotenuse. Across from the 22-degree angle, that is our opposite. So, we have opposite and hypotenuse. That means we're going to use sine of the angle is opposite over hypotenuse. So in our case, we have sine of 22 equals the opposite x over the hypotenuse 34. Put a 1 underneath the trig ratio and cross multiply. We get x times 1 is x. And then we get 34 times sine of 22. So all you have to do to solve this one is just multiply 34 times sine of 22. You get about 12.7. So that's when you multiply. Notice x was on the top. All right, let's check out the next one. Next one, we have this angle right here, 63. Across from the right angle, x here is the hypotenuse. And then right next to the 63, adjacent means next to, is the 23. So we're looking for the one that uses adjacent and hypotenuse. That's cosine. So cosine of theta equals adjacent over hypotenuse. Or specifically, cosine of 63 equals 23 over x. Notice that the x is on the bottom this time. All right, same solving process. Over 1, cross multiply. We get 23 equals cosine of 63 times x. To solve for x, we got to get rid of this pesky cosine of 63. So divide by it. Those cancel out. And you get x equals about 50.7. So notice, when the x was on the bottom, you divided by the trig ratio. When the x was on top, you multiplied by the trig ratio. So there you have it.